Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. You're watching live day trading with me. It is November 22nd. I think it's the 22nd. I always have to check. It is the 22nd. It's Friday. And we've had an interesting week. I'm wondering, maybe some big guy out there has some huge position and he just really doesn't want his calls to expire worthless or something. Let me show you what I mean. Come over to the charts. Move my microphone a little bit over here. Mouse hitting it. So if we come over here to the E-mini, yesterday, pretty ugly move down. Pretty ugly, folks. And then they just come right back up and it's like no big deal. Here it is in the treasuries. Okay. Big move up and down for the most part yesterday. It's just kind of like, what the heck? I mean, we kind of good long yesterday. Where was it? Where was our long? Our long was these candles up right here. And then they closed lower on the day. What the heck? So it's just like I feel like we're just calling it absolutely correctly on the whole, trade deal thing. But the market just doesn't seem to care that the trade deal is not going to happen at the moment. So I don't know. This could be an interesting Friday. Is the trend going to continue down, or are they going to take it off and it's going to come back a little, or are we going to have more crazy trade war news? Who knows? Well, do we have any news this morning? We have, nope, not in American news. We have flash PMI, flash services at 7:45, and then at 8 o'clock. Sorry, I should give that Eastern time. So at 9:45 Eastern time, then at 10 o'clock, we do have consumer sentiment. So that is basically where we're at. Well, let's pull up everything and get things going so we can hear you guys. I worked a little bit on the camera. I don't know if it's better or not. I think that it's a little bit more grainy and contrasty, but I don't know. I think that maybe that's what we want, right? Also, I tried sticking stuff on these monitors behind me. Can you see that? I mean, they're not bad. You can't really see. There's some animations, but you can't really see them, can you? So I think we should find some better animations. And by the way, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps out. And if you're watching on replay, go ahead, leave a comment down in the video description how you did today, what you thought of today's market action, and if there are cool visualizations that we can put in the background, maybe send us a link for those. That would be cool. They are pushing highs. That's interesting. Hold on. Let's get all settled here first. Where is my tweet deck? Rand Squawk tweets, I've been watching guys making phone calls for 40 years, quoting Donald Trump. Trump is 73. He is therefore implying that he aged 33, that at age 33, he took the decision to begin listening to other men on the phone. What an interview. Well, I'm 34. So when he was my age, so is that what I should do? Is I should start listening to other people when they're on the phone to see if I can hear the person in the phone? It does look a little strong. We are above like the opening range and all of that. We did have a little bit of a gap up overnight. I don't necessarily see a clear reasoning for that, but let's poke around. Let's poke around. So not a very strong open. Wait, do we have PMI? Where's this? Where is he getting this from? Oh, yes. Manufacturing PMI. That could be an important number, so maybe we should just kind of sit on our hands. Sit on our hands here. While we're doing that, I'm gonna do a little bit of searching around, see if we can find some cooler stuff to put back there. I think the first thing is probably
Michael
need
XC
a better
says, yeah,
screen.
okay, this notification thing sucks. I decided today to wait for YouTube to notify me about Seth, nothing, came to this page, then I get the notification as soon as the page loads.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I think that to get like notification, which as in like you're doing something else and it will send you a notification, you have to like turn on browser notifications. I've never tried doing that before. But the main reason I would click the bell icon is because then when you come over to YouTube, I will demonstrate. Come over to YouTube, you'll see this like first thing right here. And if you have the notifications turned on, you actually might see them up there too. Bum bum bum, and then you come here. You actually might click that like button.
Michael XC says, I mean the bell in the top right of YouTube.
Really? Oh, really? Yeah, I guess you're right. Now, do I have...
Michael XC says I was on another YouTube page waiting.
Well, let's see here. Oh, I have personalized. Let's click turn them to all. You get all notifications. And I don't know. We'll have to see on Monday if it pops up. YouTube definitely could do better with the streaming thing. I'm wondering what kind of things they've got planned. I know that they're working on stuff, but doop-a-doop-a-doo. What did we have here? Oh, I wanted to look at... you want to see the true scale of the world economy? Move it over here. Nobody needs to see the chart right now. We got it. We got it up here. They're not moving. Watch. I'll be dinking around, and then some big, huge. Oh, by the way, Bitcoin took another really good dive this morning. Yeah, but I'm hoping that YouTube will go in and do things like add a streaming specific section with like categories and most viewed or recommended streams in each category to kind of get more people to think about watching people stream. And then better notifications, better ways for people to know when somebody goes live. Right now, it's like you hit that notification, the bell icon. The bell icon just makes it sure that when you visit the page, that it will actually show it to you, right? If you don't click that, then it might say he doesn't care so much about it, and so it might not. The algorithm might not show it to you. This page one, I loaded this on my phone and it was fine, but this one is here in my web browser. Oh, there we go. Visualize the data. Ooh, it's pretty. It's a globe. It's not very good at how you zoom in. No animation either. Map view. There you go. Country stacks. Ooh. Transmission. Exports. Oh, it like really like splits out everything. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. There's all the Western economy connections over in here. Here's Japan, Germany, Japan, United States. Cool. Wait, high contrast. Normal contrast. Doesn't do anything. Wow. That's cool, but it doesn't animate. Still, it's really cool. Really cool. I was on another YouTube page waiting, yeah. Well, you know, one of the other things is I used to do the thing where I would post a notification in Discord, and I had the robot set up to like do it automatically and everything. But I felt like it wasn't really all that useful. And in fact, in terms of like the number of people that are able to tune into the stream immediately, didn't really change the numbers. The thing that helped the most was starting to use the scheduled live posts and adding the intro. When you added the intro, you start to get a lot more people watch it on replay. Oh, and then we changed setting a new title every day. That made a big difference too. Okay, so they're trying to push it there at 19.5, and there's already pushback there at 19.5. Not enough for me to take it, but so here's the one that I've got going in the background right now over my shoulder. See that? So that one's cool, but it needs to be. This screen size is not supported. See, that one's cool, but I just don't think that the screen is bright enough for us. Ooh. They pushed lower, and the buyers are still trying to push it through. See, that one, if it had bigger arrows, because can you see here over my shoulder? You can kind of see it. It's okay. You can kind of see some stuff going on. But I think here with this screen, it's just not like I need like an IPS screen there. If I turned it. Oh yeah, see now it's much more. Now it's much more noticeable. So we just need to get over it. APS monitors. I've been keeping an eye out because I want to get him. I want to get him a nice monitor for Christmas, but not like I think it should be like a high refresh rate one, you know? Did you guys watch? Let me tell you what. So there's this video on Linus Tech Tips where that they put out yesterday. They had another one about the same subject, but this one's even better. And they took like these pros and they did all of these different tests with, like for instance, one of the tests that they did was in Counter-Strike. There's this map where there's this section that people jump across, and if you're really fast, you can shoot the people when they jump across this little gap. But they're only
Michael
visible
XC
for a
says
short
so
second.
nobody's short CN?
I'm not yet. I feel like I should be, but it's not telling me anything that I could take. Anyways, they had them use different monitors, and one was like a 60 hertz monitors with running at 60 frames per second. And when the guy jumped across the gap, and they shoot at him, they would miss, even though it looked like on their screen that they were hitting it, because by that point the person was already gone. So it was like definitive proof that using the higher refresh rate like made you better at the game. And I was watching that and I was wondering how that could apply to futures, because when Linus like listed it all out, he was saying, well, okay, like when you take 60 hertz, okay, it does a thing, and then maximum amount of time that could show up to the monitor is 1/60th of a second. But then that delay also gets put to your mouse, and then it's there and back. So in reality, it's much more than that. And when it all came out, it's almost like 1/8 to 1/4 of a second that you're like delayed, and that's why you miss. And I was like, well, that could totally matter for futures. Although I think that we'll all have our DOMs running higher, but I was like, so does the 144 hertz monitor matter if you really want to be fast? So some distribution there at 18 and 18.5, you could potentially buy it, but I am a little bit wary about this whole thing. It's just like, I don't know, Michael. I wish I could have taken advantage of that move down, but the treasuries look like they're brawling it out, if that makes sense. They really look like they're brawling it out. I mean, 2 ticks up there. That last tick at 19 wasn't very much when you consider how much volume went through there. Seems like people think they know something. Maybe that means that we should be sitting around with another one of these. Way above. We'll see. Let's see. I had one more that I wanted to look at here. Fiat leak. Oh, that one's interesting. I don't think you guys would be able to see that one.
Michael XC says, when's the China news this morning?
Yeah, right? Well, let's see here. China has a negative news story planned for 6:47. So here in 10 minutes, we'll find out that China is just going to blow up the whole thing, and then the market's going to move up. Can only help. I can only help. I mean, obviously I shouldn't care. We can make money if it goes up or down, right? But it would be easier to make money. The treasuries are moving up, because that means money coming into the treasury market. I think the ones that I got are the best. I also have this one right here. Where is it? So this is the one that I got set up behind my head. But you can't even really see it. And that one the web browser
Ace
died.
Trade says morning.
How's it going, Ace?
Michael XC says those YouTube videos about Wall Street bets are great.
Which one are you talking about? You up early, Ace? What you thinking about the E-mini? So we got some weird action going on in the treasuries.
Michael XC says I just watched a couple.
Maybe could you give me like a title? I could try and search it. I'm
Michael
guessing you're not
XC
talking
says
about.
I think they were calling them dank.
Oh, okay. I think I need to make more memeable videos, but I'm still working on like content. I think we still got a couple of things.
Ace Trade says I think I missed a short signal at 3108.25.
Oh, I have this covered up. Well, that's interesting. I think that there is some news floating out there, Ace, because the Treasury's had a really strong move down,
XC
and now they're
says
coming
Ace,
back.
Just press rewind.
Yeah, just press rewind. You don't have one of those remotes? Let's fix this screen.
Ace Trade says at Michael XC I know, right? The Wayback Machine isn't working.
Oh, okay. So he does have one of those globalist time machines. Actually, it's not one of them globalists. It's the globalists don't have the time machine. It's Mike Pence that has the time
Ace
machine,
Trade
right?
says can you imagine if you just had a 10-second head start?
Right. You're right. Even just 10 seconds, you would know it's coming and you could buy in or sell. Oh my gosh, have you guys seen the movie? What is the movie called? It's so like somebody's going to be like, oh, I know what you're thinking of, and they're going to tell me what it is before I say it. But now I'm going to have to do search. Primer. Have you guys seen Primer? Oh my gosh. That movie is so crazy. So in Primer, they make a time machine. And the first thing that they do is they go back in time and watch what the like they see what the markets do that day. And then they go back in time a day and they trade the markets and they make tons of money. And then they use all this money to do all of this other stuff. But the mechanics of their time machine is really interesting because you basically, once you set the time machine up, that's like as far back as you can go, essentially. Like you can go into the future, but you can only go as far back as the thing. And you have to you have to sit in it and have it go back in time. So like if you want to go back 3 days, you have to go and sit inside the time machine for 3 days to go back 3 days, I think. Anyways, but then going back in time like duplicates you. So they've got all of this like mind-bendingly complicated stuff about. But there's multiple versions of themselves.
Michael XC says, Seth, what data feed do you use?
I'm using Rhythmic. And then they've got all this stuff about like multiple timelines because each copy of themselves goes into a different timeline. And they're like going back and trying to fix this timeline. And then the other thing is that in this movie, they will do this thing where multiple conversations are going on at the same time. It is just the most confusing movie you will ever watch. But it is it's a real geek movie. I bet you that if I watched that movie with my wife, she would absolutely hate that movie. So maybe we should watch it. If it was on Netflix, I would make her watch it with me. Hit big or miss big. This is
Michael
aggressive
XC
news.
says, okay, I was wondering if someone used CQG on Ninja and Daytator, then they need to have multiple CQG monthly subscriptions plus multiple subscriptions to market data?
No, you do. You have to do that with Rhythmic too, actually, Michael. But I'm using. I have 2 feeds because the yeah. So my DOM is running off of the live data feed, and I have a SIM account, and my NinjaTrader is running off of the SIM account. So if I wanted to put an order in on my NinjaTrader, wouldn't be able to do it. Not a live order.
Michael XC says Rhythmic supports multiple logins.
Yeah. Well, you have to pay for it still. Like if you want to be able to log in 2 or 3 times into the same account.
Michael XC says I'm logged in right now with SC and Daytrader.
Oh, and you're not paying the extra fee? Maybe they haven't. At some point, they're supposed to change it. At some point, they're supposed to change it. Because that was like the exchange was the one that said that, oh, you can't be giving them a feed. That's them paying for it. I think that eventually they're supposed to change it. But with CQG...
Michael XC says I thought that is how Rhythmic works.
No, I think that they just have it that way with Rhythmic for now because too many of their clients have to have 2 things open. Like, I don't think very many people actually use the Rhythmic client to trade, but especially if you are like managing multiple positions or doing spreads and things like that, like you kind of have to be able to open up the Rhythmic platform to do some of the risk management stuff. So they allow you to connect twice. But my understanding is that the exchange set up a rule that said that they're supposed to. Okay, so now the E-mini is moving. I'm not going to click because I don't know what's going on. Yeah, definitely something up. I haven't seen it on Twitter yet.
Ace Trade says news.
There's definitely some news, Ace. Let's just sit tight because the instruments aren't giving a clear indication of where it's going, and the whole market doesn't have the news. So we would just kind of be taking a big bet without knowing. If I knew what the news was, then I could try and determine if there was a significant enough deal to try and go along with it.
Greg Orlovsky says could be earnings for some stock.
Donald Trump is talking. President Trump deal with China is very close. Fox. No, I would ignore that. I don't think he's... Listen, the administration is 100% invested in keeping this rally going. Greg said it could be earnings for some stock. I mean, maybe. I think he's lying. Here's the thing. Like, what Donald Trump is... So is he... Let's see if we can find him on live somewhere. Trump live.
Greg Orlovsky says small pop up and then got smacked back down within a second.
Yep. Well, I'm not getting that. Only live. Well, I can't see anything, but apparently he's talking to some reporter somewhere or something. Fox. Maybe we could get Fox live.
Michael XC
Bloomberg
says Trump
Live.
was talking China.
Yeah.
Michael XC says deal very close.
Yeah. Bullshit. I don't believe you. Trump says he told Xi this can't be an even deal. Well, the mini is is buying it again. Talk about volatility. Well, as tempted as I am to try and make a play here, and I think that the correct play is to sell it. I think I learned my lesson from that tilt day that we had. When it's moving like that, I don't think that I have a very good edge. I need to have a little bit of profit baked into it first, and I you could lose 4 ticks very quickly. So I'm just gonna watch here. All the traders are going risk on. Yeah, but the E-mini is still where it was. I take that back. The E-mini is up about 5 points. The treasuries are even. And I can even see different squawks trying to call it. That's funny. Look here. Okay. So trading floor audio, risk on. Trump says we have a deal with China potentially very close. Quoting Fox News. And then Zero Hedge quotes Trump. Trump says he warned Xi not to send soldiers to Hong Kong. And down. We have to stand with Hong Kong, but I'm also standing with President Xi. You know what? Fuck that shit. Am I going to swear again? I'm sorry, YouTube. But I can't help it. Fuck that. Really. Who cares about Xi? He's a genocidal maniac. No. You don't put those two in the same
Greg
sentence.
Orlovsky says Trump on Fox News speaking over the phone. Most of his comments are off the cuff.
Oh, he's speaking to Fox News over the phone. Yeah, you know what? This is how I know what's happening to me right now. This is the way that liberals always feel, right? He didn't say exactly what they think that he should say, and so they're triggered. That's what's happening to me. It's finally happened to me, guys. Bothers me that in saying that I stand with Hong Kong, in the same sentence he says he also stands with President Xi. That is just really dumb. That's really dumb. Whatever. Trump gonna Trump.
Greg Orlovsky says yes, Seth. Comments seem weak. The conversation is jumbled between many items.
He's just President Trump on the phone being ADHD. I'm telling you guys, this is the thing that about this whole thing that I find the strangest is like he so clearly has ADHD. I have ADHD. And to me, maybe it's because of that it seems so obvious, or maybe I'm just reading something into it that's not really there because I'm ADHD. But to me, it seems so obvious that he is ADHD. Okay? And most of the time, he's not on his Adderall. When he has a good speech to give and he has to read the teleprompter and he gives this really nice speech through the teleprompter, he's on the Adderall. I'm telling you. But right now, it must not have kicked in yet. Oh, Donald Trump even tweeted about it. I will be interviewed on Fox and Friends this morning at 8 a.m. I know that there's not much to talk about. What we will try to keep the conversation going. Enjoy. There's not much to talk about. This guy. Man. I tell you what, guys. Oh, yes. We haven't talked about this. Have you guys seen the Cybertruck? Oh my gosh. This is probably a bad time to talk about this, but my goodness, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this video. This is good stuff.
Greg Orlovsky says looks horrible.
It looks horrible. Look at it. Oh, look. He tried to prove that the thing was bulletproof. And so he threw... Oh, you know what? That's not very good. Oh, man. Look at the pyrotechnic Cybertruck. Honestly, it looks to me like when Cyberpunk 2090 or whatever that video game is, he saw that and he's like, that is so cool. Make me a vehicle that looks like that. All the guys come out of the truck. That's so weird. He's like, make me a truck
Dave
that looks like it belongs in that
we
game.
talked in TSG's stream. I didn't realize
Oh,
you streamed
yeah.
as well. You usually just do early morning futures?
Hey, thank you for stopping in, Dave. I really appreciate it. And I actually do kind of recognize your name.
Popularity Matters says I would take a Model 3.
Yeah. So I only stream for the first 2 hours of the Treasury session. So Treasuries start trading at 8:20, and then there's an hour, and okay, that's it right there. They tried to show that the glass was bulletproof, and it broke, but it didn't break in. But man, he threw a bowling ball at it. That's crazy. Anyways, so then the stock market opens, and then that's an hour, and then I usually go into my day job. I have a day job. I'm a programmer. And yeah, I've been streaming for how long has it been now, guys? Maybe 2 years. I tell you, this is an interesting story, Dave, because I never went out there and was like, you know what I want to do? I want to become a streamer and make millions of dollars streaming. Because Ninja, he's making millions of dollars streaming, and I think that I can do that. That never once crossed my mind. The way that this started was
Ace Trade says since the 1929 crash, Seth has been streaming.
No, it's been like 2 or 3 years that I've been doing this.
Popularity Matters says you used to be quiet all the time on stream.
Is that? Yeah. Well, yeah. So when it started, okay, it was just like, okay, I want to record my trading so that I can see why I did what I did.
Dave A says right on that's cool. I'll definitely be here in the mornings. Gotta drop my kid off at the bus, but I took the day off. I'll be back shortly before market open.
All right, cool. We'll hear you. We'll see you a little bit later. Anyways, I just wanted to record the action, and so I started recording them, and it was like I didn't have enough space on my machine at the time, so I was like, well, I'll just upload it to YouTube. So I would record it and upload it to YouTube, and I started like a journal on Futures.io because they were doing a contest, which was really weird because I was the only person that did it, and so they canceled the contest. And then, but people watched. I was like so surprised. Like I would upload it and people would watch it afterwards, and I would get like 20, 30 views every day. So I'm like, okay, we'll just keep doing it. And it's just kind of like gotten worse and worse. It's worse and worse, the right way to put it.
Popularity Matters says I've been bullish since 1935.
I've been bullish since 1935. Listen, I've been bullish since 2009, and I remain cautiously bullish. Don't put me in bull gang though. None of this bull gang, bear gang. I think that what we call this is the quote cult. That's what we do. We make money either way.
Harlequin says I remember Seth being responsible for the financial crisis in 1929 by pumping Garlicoin.
No. Maybe we will be the maybe garlic coin will be the catalyst for the next financial crisis, and they can blame me. By the way, we haven't, and nobody's come in yet, but Bitcoin today, man. Can I hold on? Look at Bitcoin, man. Another really aggressive move overnight. Really aggressive move overnight.
Ace Trade says I'm long Coca-Cola since before it had cocaine in it. Popularity Matters says I was a shovel salesman 5 years after the gold rush.
A shovel salesman. I wonder, that'd be interesting. I think, well, we think about the gold rush, and we think of it as like this unique thing in history where everybody was trying to get in on the big cash grab. But with the internet, there are gold rushes every year now. One of the great gold rushes that we have right now is streaming. So many people out there want to stream.
Ace Trade says at Popularity Matters, remember when you wanted me to buy all that worthless land in California? I think it was called LA? Popularity Matters says I'm using Jigsaw again with a TT DOM profile.
Really? So you're using the Jigsaw DOM and the trading technology volume?
Popularity Matters says lol. Harlequin says I'm long in weapon manufacturers since the first siege Constantinople. Make trebuchets great again.
Make trebuchets. Oh man. At least he said trebuchets. If he said something about catapults, I might have had to have stepped in there. Do we reckon she has interviews like this on Chinese state television? Asks Rand Squawk. You got it. Come on. This is hilarious. President Trump says we'll stick with Vice President Mike Pence as his running mate in 2020. Of course he will. But there were a lot of people that thought it was going to be Haley.
Short signal 3110.25. Popularity Matters says no, my friend made a TT DOM profile for Jigsaw so it removes all the extra features and behaves like TT.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the thing so that the middle columns are gone and it shows the amount being traded
Harlequin
over here.
Says catapults are so 500 before Christ.
Yeah. I don't understand why some people like that particular way of doing it. But
Michael XC says screenshot. Popularity Matters says I want make my joke, it is offensive.
Well, I can just show you right here, Michael. Well, I mean, it would be nice to get a screenshot from Popularity Matters. I think that's what you want, but I'll show you the feature here, okay? If we can find it.
Uzi Knesset says smart money got long building supplies when the pyramids at Giza were constructed.
I think that I have
Popularity
to go into
Matters
volume
says
profile.
I will post it in the Discord.
Show current trades. That's it right there. Okay. And then I close it. So now do you see right here in the volume profile column? It says, okay, one has traded into 3110. Since I changed that, at least. No more have gone through. Okay, 2 have gone through. Right? And it changes color. Okay. 8. Oh, that's not even 27 that tick up.
Popularity Matters says mine looks stiff.
Yours looks a little different. Anyways, you can totally change it around. But then you can get rid of these middle columns. But I don't like doing it that way. I like seeing my volume profile. It's kind of funny, all of that volatility, and now a zipper at 18.5.
Harlequin says smart money made Mongolia pay for the Chinese wall.
I don't think that's how it happened, Harlequin. My Chinese history is a little rusty. We need wrong. Where's wrong? I think the Chinese paid for it. And it took them a long time to build, too. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? There's some interesting behavior going on in the euro this morning, too. And the British pound. And the Japanese yen is slightly down, but not a huge amount. What about oil? What is oil doing? Oil's buying. I tell you what, man.
Harlequin says I remember playing the Age of Empires 2 campaigns and it didn't take that long to build.
It did. Well, not if you use the cheats, Harlequin.
Harlequin says like 10 minutes in game time.
That's why I could never play that game. I don't have the attention span for that. Like the trying to manage things in StarCraft was bad enough, but these bigger strategy games where stuff actually took a long time to build and stuff, oh, no way. I couldn't manage that many things. Oh, here we go. Here, Popularity Matters has a picture for us. Here, we'll open the original. Can make it bigger. Yeah. So see, he's using the thing to say, here's how many he's trading at that price. He still has the volume profile, but he doesn't show the numbers.
Popularity Matters says I sent it to you twice.
Yeah, there you go. And then he has it organized differently, right? He has the price in the middle and the bid and ask on the sides like that, which is cool. I like the default Jigsaw way of doing it, but totally works. And it's interesting to me though, Popularity Matters, because a lot of people requested that. Like the guys that I think that I'm told that the Axia guys requested it. That they refused to use it until they got
Popularity Matters
that.
says TT bootleg style.
Yeah, and so then Jigsaw added it, and they've had like a really good relationship with Axia. In fact, I think that they're using Axia in part for their training stuff, aren't they? I wonder how well they're doing with that. I'm telling you what, I bet you there's like with the money thing. Sorry, selling trading education. Like the thing is if you sell trading education and you sell a course that's like $1,000, for instance, like you don't have to have
Greg
a lot of people buy that.
Says I'm not sure why that style would help. No disrespect.
Yeah, you know what, Greg? I don't understand
Popularity
either.
Matters says yeah, Axia is the trainer for Jigsaw.
I think that it just has more to do with that, TT has had it like that for decades, So that's just what they're used to. I think that
Popularity Matters says Greg, it is the original Dom style.
Yeah, it's the original Dom style. I think that's the only reason why.
Michael XC says I'm still confused about prop firms. Pete was saying in some video from a few years ago that prop firms were waiting for TT before they would jump on board with Jigsaw, but there's still no TT.
What do you mean by TT?
Greg Orlovsky says thank you, Pop. Michael XC says all TT connections are for historical in Jigsaw?
Or maybe you mean they're waiting for TT data before they jump onto Jigsaw? That could be true. Anyways, the thing is, you sell a $1,000 course, you only need to sell 100 of them, and that's $100,000. T-feed.
Popularity Matters says yeah, that might be it. Michael XC says TT feed for Jigsaw. Harlequin says if I ever would buy trading education, then from Axia or SMB Capital. They both are pretty long in the trading business and make really good free videos. Would them prefer over some random no names.
Yeah, I agree.
Popularity Matters says that would be a game changer for Peter if he could get TT data, but TT won't allow it.
Yeah, there's no way that TT would ever do it. Is the TT data that much better? So what about the TT data is better? we need to just go and sign up for a demo account from them and see for ourselves, maybe. That actually, you know what? This is a good idea. Because next week is a holiday. There might be some more volatility because of trade war news, but I'm guessing
Michael
that...
XC says why?
You know?
Popularity matters says industry standard robust?
I don't know. Let's just go and sign up for a demo. Let's do it. We use
Greg Orlovsky says I'm fine with Axia, but some of the videos are lacking any real explanation.
Yeah, you know...
Michael XC says so if someone became a futures trading guru during the day and a pickup artist guru at night, he would make a killing from trading.
There you go. There you go. You're right, because listen, education is like one of the most scalable businesses you can possibly come up with. It totally makes sense to me why so many people sell trading education or education in general. You know, here's how to make your YouTube famous, or here's how to start a, you know, marketing campaign, or how to become an Amazon affiliate, things like that. Because you can charge a lot for education and you don't have to sell a lot of them. So it's like you put a ton of effort to making the training materials. You spend let's say you spend 6 months making training materials, and then you sell it. And over the life of that product, you could sell, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because if it's $1,000 a pop, you know, and 100 people get it, that's $100,000. And if it's a successful one, you could get a lot more than 100 people to do it. That's why they do it. Because even if one person comes in, they make a ton of money.
Winstan's mom says good morning speculator Seth, and what are you selling this morning? Hello, traders, how goes the day?
We're talking about selling trading education.
Popularity matters says in trading you can even sell for 5K like Warrior Trading.
Is his 5K really? Yeah, and the thing is that he's got like a whole organization behind it. You get the marketing and all that stuff. Look, that screen behind me, it errored out again. But the other one never did. So let's do that. Okay, hold on a second. I should have turned on the auto read while I was doing that. Let's just read all of these.
Ace Trade says at Winstanzama morning. Air Cages says 100% out of BTC. Popularity Matters says he's a brilliant marketer. Michael XC says I found a NinjaTrader footprint indicator on YouTube. The guy was explaining it in his video. Price
$5,000. What the hell?
Winstanzamam says good morning Ace Trades once again the weekend is here, my favorite day. Garbage pickup, and how goes your pickup? Ace Trades says at Winstanzamam my pickup is running like a champ. Ace Trades says at Winstanzamam I'm about to make my first profit target on a call I made a bit ago. Winstanzamam says I think I saw this morning that Tesla has a pickup truck now. I don't think we will see many of those around here. First profit of the day, fingers crossed for you. No rabbit tails here.
Yeah, did you see the pickup truck? Let's go back to the Cybertruck. Cybertruck videos. Oh, here we can view it from Tesla. The Cybertruck. We missed
Michael
Harlequin's little
XC says,
accent
yeah, I
thing.
watched it months ago, so I can't remember the exact video, but it was $5,000 in just a footprint.
That's ridiculous.
Harlequin says you can get trading education for free at our concentration camps. ASRY, I meant education camp.
Sorry, I meant education camp. Not re-education camp. See, there's concentration camps and then there's re-education camps. Anyways, start a free 30-day trial. Let's see if we can get Patrick's. He's probably not on. Oh, he is. But I probably never. Which one is it? Yeah, he's not online though. I'm gonna try it though. We're gonna try it, Patrick. Oh, let's do it over here on the screen so you can't see all of my. Because apparently I have to give them all this stuff. Dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum.
Popularity Matters says on my local talk radio AM station, every day they have a show that markets a stock trading software and room. Popularity
really?
Matters says I love TT. Popularity Matters says I like when Jigsaw looks like TT.
Harlequin says we got them both. Book them now and you get concentrated and then re-educated. Better offer than Garlycoin.
Oh no!
Popularity Matters
Come
says
on.
is a Morum scalper. Jigsaw plus Tradeovate is cheaper, reduces overhead. Popularity Matters says per trade.
Yeah.
Ace Trade
right,
says multi-lots
Popularity
take
Matters.
first profit, cover to break even or one tick. Air Cages says everybody wanna be a day trader but nobody wanna take any heavy ass margin calls. Yeah buddy.
Man. I tell you, it really bothers me, to be honest, to just see all these guys out there wasting money on Robinhood with options. It's like, you guys don't know what you're doing. I mean, come on. You're just losing money. You're just losing money. Why do you do it? They do it, though. Okay, now I have to verify my email address. So let's do that.
Popularity Matters says real men never stop out. We hold until the market swings back, eventually.
You know what? I had this one guy. I knew this one guy when I was in John Bottomley's room.
Lucas says at ACE Trades I was following your trade. I didn't get in time, but good trade.
Anyways, there's this guy. He was a good trader, and he had made some decent money on it, and he was young too, and but he could afford to swing it, and so he would take a trade, and it would go against him, and he'd be like, "Nah, it'll come back," and I'd be like, "Nah, I don't think it is going to actually come," but most of the time it did, and he'd take a winner off of it. It was interesting. But please don't get margin called, please. We want everybody to be successful.
Ace Trade says at Lucas, thanks buddy. I swear I'm going to make you money. Winstanzamom says we need a better title for this video. Something pre-Thanksgiving-ish. Air
Right?
Cages says the captain always goes down with the ship. Popularity Matters says was he a crude trader?
No, I don't think so. I think he was doing treasuries and farming stuff, farm products. Let's see here.
Lucas says at ACE Trades you already are. Most of the trades I take from your signals are pure gold. Popularity Matters says I know a guy who went up 20k in a week trading like that, but in 2 weeks he was broke. Michael XC says when is Black Friday? Ace Trade says at Lucas, thanks buddy.
Next
Michael
Thursday.
XC says, and are the deals better on Cyber Monday?
No. Dude, all of the deals that I've seen so far are awful. The deals this year are awful. They're not actually offering real discounts. It's retarded. What do you think would be a good title? Because I haven't thought of what it is, although we had a lot of, a lot of volatile action because Donald Trump was on Fox News. He was on Fox News, and the market was all over the place based on what he was saying. Okay, start free 30-day trial.
Winstanza Mom says, Captain goes down with the ship. One of the advantages of being captain is being able to ask for advice without necessarily having to take it. James T. Kirk.
Simulation.
Popularity Matters says make the title win every trade.
Win every trade. You know what? Actually,
Air Cages says what are your thoughts on Ethereum as a crypto?
I think that the Ethereum is an okay crypto. I think that they have a lot of the same problems that Bitcoin does, but I would prefer it to Bitcoin. I don't know. I wish that we were in a coin picking market, but just is not the way that it is right now. Right now, everything just kind of follows Bitcoin, huh? Oh, come on. I hate it when it asks you
Winstanza Mom says title, let's see, gobble gobble something.
Gobble, gobble.
Harlequin says make the title, stops are for pussies. The market will move in my direction. Eventually. Popularity Matters says hold up, when is Thanksgiving?
Okay, I like that. If we come up with a better title, but I'm gonna say the market will move in my direction eventually.
Winstanza Mom says sexy robot voice say gobble gobble, pardon me, please.
Has he already pardoned the turkey yet? That doesn't happen until later in the week. Now I have to
Air
give them
Cages says new title, Trading for Toddlers featuring Peppa Pig. Lucas says that's a tech-led type of title.
Tech Lead. So I don't get. Do you watch Tech Lead very often, Lucas? I've only seen a couple of his videos, and I don't understand why he does so well. What is it about him that makes people watch him?
Ace Trade says the turkey didn't commit suicide. Lucas says sometimes.
So which plan should we do here? Should we do
Winstanza Mom
Standard, Pro?
says lol Peppa Pig, I have heard that teachers in grade school are complaining the children are speaking in an English accent.
Advanced options package for advanced options trading and analysis? I don't really care about that.
Harlequin says I think Trump pardoned the wrong turkey when he gave them the curds.
Oh my gosh, this is... Hold on. Okay, so here I'm going through it. Your monthly
Air Cages
total.
says Peppa Pig is a beast.
Is it really $50 a month for standard? What do you get with Pro? Automated spread trading, algo trading, algo design lab, and APIs. Automated spread trading I hear is money, right? I'm not a fan of Peppa Pig, to be honest.
Winstanza Mom says my children loved Barney. I am not sure which would be worse.
I feel like that Peppa Pig is like one of those...
Lucas says we don't need that.
Yeah, one of those smart butt people, like they're always being... They're not nice. They're just not nice. And they just do whatever they want. I don't know. I just don't feel like that those pigs are very socially conscious. Okay, I meet the requirements. So for me to get CBOT, I have to spend $110. Are you kidding me? Like, it's bad enough that I have to spend
Michael
$50
XC
a month.
says, I'll wait. TT won't allow Jigsaw because it is a competitor to the TT DOM.
Oh yeah, there's no way that TT is going to allow Jigsaw to use their data, but I don't think that anybody can use TT data other than Jigsaw. Or sorry, other than TT. Blech. See, I just want those two.
Says Seth, not sure if this would help. I heavily read the DOM. There is an option to show number of orders that make up a level at a certain depth. Might help, not in ES but in Treasuries. Michael XC says that might be pro? Michael
really?
XC says pro pricing CBOT?
I don't know. No, it says I meet the requirements for non-professional trader subscription. If I don't click that, non-professional status, it requires exchange approval. But then
Winstanza Mom says TT
right here,
Dom.
right?
I am a NEDOM Jungian typology reference.
See? I definitely would qualify for non-professional status, but Coinbase.
Greg Orlovsky says yes, Sierra Dom has this option but your data feed needs to send it.
Yeah, you know what? In the treasuries, I can do it. No, I can totally do it. Kind of. So I can look at how many orders are on there, but like you have to see it happen. I don't know if it would actually tell you for ones that are already there, but I could have it start counting and as they add up and pull or whatever. And so for prices that have already
Lucas
traded,
says
you would have
what
somewhat
means
accurate
disappointed
number.
face.
Okay, so think of it this way. Let me stop the reading for a second. Okay, so see I have this tape right here. What I'm doing is every time that I get a level 2 update, I'm looking at I'm generating a book. There's a book, and I say this is how much I have at each price. And when I get an update, it says this price, you know, what we have at 8.5 is now 450, and now it's 500, now it's 600. And that's the way that the updates come in. And it's going to send me an update, generally speaking, although your data provider can filter things, but generally speaking, you're going to get an update every time that somebody places and takes off an order. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at every update and I'm saying, what was there before and what is there now, and what is the difference between the two? So that I can see that, okay, somebody just stacked 500 or pulled 500 off of a particular price, right? So what I could do is I could just say, every time that I see that number go up, I add to a number. And then if it was a price that had cleared, so, you know, they cleared 8.5 and then they started stacking orders on there, I would be able to tell you how many orders actually stacked on it. Makes sense. But I don't know if it really matters for treasuries or not. I do think that how many changes have happened there overall seems to matter.
Greg Orlovsky says yes, also how many single orders makes up the amount at that level, like 3,100 is bidding, but it is only 5 orders. Right. Lucas says oh got it.
Because then you could tell, okay, there's a lot of people here, but a lot of it is retail traders. You could say something like that. But, you know, it's just really interesting to me. So, like, I have these histograms, right? And this one is just every time that there is a change, somebody adds or takes away a column, it increases that number. And that's what that is. So in this tick, since we've been stuck here between 18 and 18.5, there have been 16,000 orders placed, removed, modified on the whole DOM, like all prices. And I can filter it down and I can say, I only want to show the inside prices, or I only want to show the outside prices. Like I can actually do that. And I can say, I only want to see when they add and I only want to see when they take away. And when I do that and I say I only want to see when they add and when they take away, the number of adds and the number of taking it off are almost identical. So what does that tell you? The vast majority of orders are modified. They already had an order on there and they moved it from one price to another price. Vast majority of them are like that. Because when you take all of that out and you just show me just, you know, in this bar, was there more buys than sells? Or something of that nature? Was there more stacked than Pulse? It's like literally only like 100 difference. And I tried looking through that, and I couldn't find any kind of edge with looking at it when you canceled out all of that noise, and so I stopped paying attention to it. And I took it off of the DOM, if you remember. So that's why I say being able to see like how many orders actually make up a price might not actually be that useful. And somebody has a really loud car outside. By the way, can you hear the other PC in the background? I was wondering if that would matter. Okay, so now we're getting a spike here. What did you take off the DOM? It was something in my indicator. Do you see how I have these ones right here? There's a blue line and there's a red line. I had the same for my all orders, but when I did that, the blue line and the red line were almost always the same, so I got rid of it.
Popularity Matters says I had to leave to argue with Republicans who are mad with Ann Coulter.
You know what? Ann Coulter, I mean, I tried to warn people. Maybe I didn't really, but in my head I did. Ann Coulter is just a how do I say this? I need to collect my thoughts before I go off on some big rant about Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter is just a self-promoting attention whore. Maybe that was what do you know? What do we say that? Discriminatory language. Shouldn't call Ann Coulter a whore, but she's just self-promoting. Go and look back at every position that she takes. It's always based on what gives her the best profile. And right now she's recognizing that being negative about Donald Trump gets her more attention.
She does a good job making money for Herschel H.
Yep.
Popularity Matters says I like her. She is such a troll. She will send anyone to the fryer.
No. I enjoy watching her and listening to what she says, but I would not take anything that she says as like indicative of how Republicans feel or any other cultural shift, or, I wouldn't say, oh, well, Ann Coulter, she's supporting this person for president. That probably means that he has a good, chance of no. She only does what will make her the most money. When Donald Trump was running and she could see that that's where the media attention was, so she became an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump. And now that he's president, you get more attention if you criticize Trump, so she criticizes
him. The most unlikable female TV personality ever has gotta be Nancy Grace. Popularity Matters says her anti-Trump stances are strong. She is attacking him on immigration and putting the wrong people in his admin to get the job done. Michael XC says, oh well, okay, I also don't like this Maddo person. Winstanza Mom says Bill Maher says Ann Coulter is an actress. He likes her, he says, but this is her character. She had quite the college career and was a rising star profiled as a newcomer back then.
So I have it set up the way that I think it's supposed to be. But it looks to me like that TT is simply not realistic still. Did I not scroll all the way through this? Except $270 per month is ridiculous, I think. You got to be a real pro. But when everybody else is offering the same data for $15 a month and they're asking $100 for it, like, what the hell? This better be like really amazing data. It better be really amazing. And then am I going to get like the web interface? Do I not get... They do have a desktop platform, right? I missed these. Did it read these ones?
Winstanza Mom says I listen to both sides of the aisle and up and down the middle. The right side shouts. I have to slow down playback speed for them. Popularity Matters says yeah.
Yeah, it did read these ones out. Yeah, so she's hitting him on the anti-immigration
Popularity
stance.
Matters says get the desktop version.
Click here to load the workspace. Okay. TT desktop. That's what I want. Go live. Okay, well. That right there looks fast. I am delayed, so I don't think that... Oh, no, we're... Okay, my TT is not delayed, so we can see it. Looks pretty similar to me. Oh, actually, I'm seeing a little bit more updates on this one. But I could change that. I don't have the update. Well, I have the update interval set to 10.
Greg Orlovsky says PMI flash in 11 minutes, consumer S at 10 o'clock EST.
And good point.
Popularity Matters says, are you on 10 minutes simulation?
No, it's simulated, but it's live data apparently.
Winstanza Mom says, title idea, how about Wild Turkeys Take Over?
Wild Turkeys Take Over. Now, it should be about trading. The more keywords that we can put in about trading, the better, because that helps our authority on that topic, right? Yes. Install. And I might change the title to say...
Popularity Matters says, I'm ready for coffee and yummy healthy fatty food.
You know, something about trying trading technology demo. And comparing with what we got. Finish.
Ace Trade says, at Winstanza Mom, I've had wild turkey before. It's horrible compared to that nice fat butterball.
GT.
Popularity Matters says, hypnosis for winning trades.
Hypnosis for winning trades. This is it.
Dave A says, what is the advantage of using a futures trading platform over trading them with TDA?
With TDA. TD Ameritrade? Okay, so that's actually a really good question.
Greg Orlovsky says, 3 shots of wild turkey before the open, smiley face. Michael XC says, when are the futures markets closed for Thanksgiving? Treasuries and indices. Dave A says yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm not too... Oh, so the TD Ameritrade platform looks a lot like it's the Thinkorswim platform, right? They took over Thinkorswim and then they kind of brought it into that, right? Okay, so first of all, the TD Ameritrade platform is pretty okay. It's pretty good. And especially if you want to do like a bunch of stuff, like if you want to trade futures and options and stocks, then your choices are basically going to be TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, or Interactive Brokers, right? Those are the platforms I know of that really allow you to do all of those things, right? But for me, I like scalping. I'm taking very short trades. Like my perspective on it is this is like the playing with the big kids, the most involved, skillful way of trading, right? Like this is the hardest way to trade, but it's a great way to trade even if you don't get good at it. But then you can turn around and do other forms of trading. You'll know a lot more because you really have to know everything you have to know about all of the internals, the market microstructure, and what causes things to move, and all of this, right? So if I'm just doing futures, what are the advantages of the platform? Well, the reason that I like Jigsaw is because of the DOM. And I'll just show you here really quick. I have I have it on a sim account here. So if I want to put an order in, here's the buys and here's sells, right? I can just click and put orders in really quickly, okay? I can do different strategies. So I have like a 4-1 right here. So if I sell it, Okay, it automatically places my stop and my target down there. Okay, I can place a stop. So this one right here. Okay. So I can do a stop, and I can do a volume stop. Let's see if I can change it. So here, if I just get rid of this. Okay, now it's just a stop. So this one would be, if anything triggered at 21.5, then it would sell, or it would buy, and I would stop out. Okay, but this one at 19.5, it will only trigger if there's less than 513 contracts on offer, which means that price can actually trade and it won't, automatically go off, which is a really nice thing to have when you're trading in as tight of a range as I do. Okay. Ooh, that was a good stack there. So that might actually be a really great trade. Although anytime that we get a stack like that, you got to be a little bit cautious, especially since we've got like 5 minutes to the news. Well, let's just watch it. But, as I'm explaining, okay, something that will happen, it'll move down, and I'm like, oh man, this could just go. Just drag it down. Drag it up, whatever it is. If I think that they're going to take 17.5 and I want to take it as she goes, I can go in and I can click. So the ability for me to modify orders and be really quick and nimble in the market is really, really great. Now, TD Ameritrade does have a DOM, and it's okay, but it's not nearly as great as this one. Okay. And then just, a couple of other things is that there's just a lot of customization. So there's columns that I can add. I can change the behavior of a bunch of things. One thing that I could do, for instance, here, if I say, okay, I didn't like that, so I'm going to get out and buy here. This sim is being weird. Oh, wait, did I? No, it's a short position. Oh, I know why. Because so here in this thing, I can change. So that just put a stop order. If I do auto, then it will change what kind of order it is based on. Okay, so I got out there. You see how it canceled all of those orders automatically? Well, that's a feature that I have set up to, when you exit a position, close all outstanding orders. Those are some of the things that you can do with it. Plus, you get really fast data and all that stuff. And then on NinjaTrader, I have like these order flow indicators that I've created, cumulative delta. I don't know if TD Ameritrade has a cumulative delta. I think you probably could, but I guess the general gist of it, Dave, if you're still there, and I hope that was like an adequate answer. But the basic gist of it is you can certainly do it on Thinkorswim, but it's just not, as specialized. This is specialized towards like a market maker approach, whereas TD Ameritrade is trying to service people that are, retail traders, mostly trading stocks, and they want to explore it,
Dave A says thanks for explaining. I definitely see that the speed and ease of order entry being very helpful.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is it's just a completely, when you're trading futures and market making, it's just a completely different way of trading, right? Like, not to diminish what anybody else is doing, because there are a lot of ways to trade and there's a lot of ways to make money. You can trade options. Like I'm thinking about the stock guy, some of his streams. Like sometimes it really is like, geez, buying calls is just like free money, right? Like that's a good way to make money. But what we're doing is very involved. We're making decisions based on what we can see in the market, and we can see literally everything in the market. Most other ways of trading, I'm like, how do you have any edge? Because you can't actually see what people are doing. I can see here that somebody is stacking a ton right there. Can you see that? I circle it. there was a 3,000 there for a second. Now it's actually pulled. And there's a 3,000 there at 17.5, right? So somebody was trying to push the market down. They bought a ton at 18 though as well. Now, if it was not before news, I would maybe I would try and play that area if I thought that one side had an advantage or not. You're a scalper, not a market maker. I have to be anal about that term. Yeah, okay, you're probably right. Popularity matters. We're scalping, but I like to call it the market maker approach because to me, the market maker approach is like, where can you get filled and hold a spot? Is there a way to recenter all DOMs without it affecting other workspaces? I think so. Well, so like you can, if I left click on it, it'll only recenter this one. And then if I right click on it, it'll recenter all of them.
Michael XC says, how do you get the red and blue auction vista?
Oh, you see this button right here that looks like a little graph? That's what makes the auction vista show up. Yeah, right click does all workspaces. That's maybe a feature they could implement. I don't know if there's a way to do it only on one workspace, unless there's a shortcut. No. Auto center, you can only do all windows. That would be cool. That's a good idea, Michael. You should send a message to Pete and suggest that feature.
Dave A says, I use the active trader, which is kind of a stripped down, slower version of what you just showed me. I'm still learning futures, so usually just trying to scalp on MES or MYM off of supply, demand.
There's the news. So let's come over here and see what it was. I'm not seeing it there yet. Market services PMI 51.6 versus 51.0 expected. No, I can't. That's not right. Why did the market move so much then? Maybe it was the manufacturing number. I'm still not getting it. I really should just get a squawk so I can get these. Okay. 52.2 versus 51.5 expected. So numbers in both were better than expected. That did cause them to move a little bit lower. I kind of feel like that move was a little overdone, don't you think? And I'm getting quite a bit of activity in the 30-year here. Let's just kind of sit back here. Michael
XC says, no, I mean Auction Vista is gray for me, but on Pete's videos it is red and blue, the background.
Yeah, so if you come into the settings here and go to Auction Vista, and then you can change the heat map colors. But if you come down into here, I think that, so they've got like, I think that if you do Jigsaw Original and Factory, those are the red and blue ones. And then I created Night Vision. One of them is gray, but it's just the bleh. It's just the template that you're using, but you can change them individually here like I did to get the green. And I picked green because your eyes can see green better. I think it can close this window and this window. And I think we can pull up the jigsaw. Oh, click done. Okay. So here I want, let's make this smaller for starters. They're trading back and forth quite a bit. How do I change? That's the count, day, limit, trader. might have to explore it further somewhere else. Because I don't know how to change the instrument. Oh, they're still going lower. Look at the stack there. We should be selling this. We can mess with this next week. I was waiting for a move up. Well, I never actually got an actionable signal, unfortunately. So Seth, do you have a new cam? You are so sharp. Yeah, I did. So I took the camera that I've been using to record the one-off videos, and I finally got a cam link to it and hooked it up. It's not perfect. I wish it was a little bit brighter. I thought it was maybe going to be too bright, but now I'm looking at it like it's not bright enough. I haven't heard from you in a while, so thanks for stopping by. Gold got destroyed the last 2 minutes. 40-cent drop.
Ace Trade says at Michael XC, if you are using a TV from the 50s, it's going to look like that no matter what the settings are. Look for tubes in the back.
I think that this was one that we couldn't really take advantage of. I'm seeing the 30 years saying that we might turn here at 24. Do you really want to buy that? That way the E-mini has just been going sideways too. Why did treasuries sell?
Swissio says I am fine.
That was like, where were we at? 18.5 to 14?
Ace Trade says at Swissio we have missed ya.
Yeah. Swisso's always been, he's been around, one of those guys that's been around almost from the beginning, I think. And he knows his stuff.
Winstanzamam says the UK's economic performance was the worst since July 2016, with manufacturing and services PMI both coming in below 50 and below expectations. Winstanzamam says Britain faces a general election on December 12. PMI data for the US economy due at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time.
Market. The latest survey results are indicative of GDP rising at a modest annualized rate of just 1.5%, with payrolls rising at a monthly clip of approximately 100,000. I don't know. Just doesn't...
Winstanzamam says MarketWatch what's driving treasuries. There was some sign of improvement in Germany's manufacturing sector, but IHS Markit's purchasing managers' indexes for the euro area pointed to slow economic growth.
So if I come over here and I add the other countries, does that show me something? Was there another piece of news around that time that... Don't think so. Oh, sorry, it's Friday.
Swissio says I also have to work from time to time. The money never sleeps is not so easy at the moment.
It's not so easy at the moment. You know, I've done pretty good this week. But today, you know, I was hesitant to take any trades today and I wanted to wait for the news. But you know, I should be taking trades in this kind of stuff. I mean, maybe perhaps I got a little distracted.
Says there was a bunch of Euro news at different times today. UK, French, and German news.
Maybe I was a little bit distracted, but it's also just not doing what I would expect at all. So I'm just kind of on the sidelines until I feel like I understand what's going on. Because I just don't understand why they sold it so hard.
Lucas says you should be involved 100% of the time.
Yeah. Well, there's an iceberg at 13.5. I mean, the other thing that's kind of makes it hard is that there's a lot of big icebergs down here. You know? And under the current paradigm...
Lucas says joking lol.
And under the current paradigm, you know, seeing those icebergs just kind of means distribution. It doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Like, I don't know if I could buy it at 13.5 and it's just going to like hard reverse or what. Am I seeing anything on this? I am. It's telling me that I should buy it. Why? It's a little scary.
Swissio says the markets are crap.
There's a couple of clicks on that downtick. I haven't seen that particular signal get okay. I don't want one like that. Do it like that. Okay.
Lucas says you mean in Switzerland is not so easy right now?
What's going on? That was a good trade though. Something's up, folks. Oof.
Popularity Matters says I'm not looking at S again until after 12. That is when I have my biggest edge on most days to do my business.
Really? There's some good opportunities there later in the day in ES for sure. Because you can kind of see all of the positions everybody's taken through the day. Okay, that was an interesting how they took that 13.5. Because it was actually a really slow take. But then when it took it, they stacked.
Swissio says no in the markets. Harlequin says at Lucas, did you just assume his country? How dare you? Maybe he identifies as country fluid. Michael XC says news in 5.
Is there more news? Oh yeah, there's the
Lucas says I want to move to Zug winking face.
Okay, well, there's still
Lucas says no, he told us
being stubborn at 14, so I think he did tell us one time a long time ago that it was. Okay, one tick is not bad. So when I saw that rush up, we definitely got a good signal there. I'm glad it worked the way that it did. When we got that rush up, that was kind of saying maybe something's going on. It could still be something going on, but he's holding it at 14, and I don't want to fight with him. So if there's two big guys here battling it out, I want to let them resolve it.
Lucas says I identify as a profitable trader, so markets should allow me to make money. Jake says, hey.
Hey, Jake, how's it going? Good to see you back. Did you come in, was it your first week here? I don't remember. Or have you been around for a few weeks? By the way, what are the numbers that we're looking for consumer sentiment? 95.8. 95.8. The previous reading of 95.7. And the inflation expectation, there's no estimate, but previous was 2.5. Well, they could be holding it because they want to take a trade based off of consumer sentiment. I wouldn't expect consumer sentiment to be quite as influential. And I'm getting another spike in the 30-year. So I think that we caught a good signal and somebody cut it short. And now he's giving another signal. But let's wait because it's only 3 minutes. That's interesting. This flow could be really advantageous to us though. If they're going to tick around like 1 or 2 ticks like that and you can just take them off 1 or 2 ticks, it'd be good, right? And look, they took that 13.5 was where I got in, right? So I think I called that one correctly. Oof. It's been a long time since I caught such a small one that well.
Michael XC says I'm in only from 14.5.
From 14.5? You short or long?
Block sell.
What the hell? So it's still telling me to buy it.
Michael XC says short.
Oh, really?
Michael XC says wait and see what the news does.
Yeah.
Harlequin says I identify myself as an NBA player so I can get money from China. I also identify myself as a wall so Mexico can pay for me.
Well, whenever I see a block sell like that, I usually get out, but the news context, that might have just been somebody exiting a trade, you know? Like somebody that doesn't want to be involved. And now it's interesting to me that there's still 3,400 at 16.
Claudio Ibarola says hi, where can I find an explanation for your indicators?
So if you're talking about the ones down here at the bottom, I haven't really made a video about it because I haven't really made them public. But the gist of it is it's a quote counter. Every time that somebody adds or removes an order, it ticks up one. And that's how you get the histogram. That's how it's built. And then this bottom one is cumulative delta. And in terms of how you use it and everything, I guess that's kind of up to you. But when I see a spike,
Claudio Ibarola says yes.
When I see a spike, that means maybe reversal. Spike indicates a lot of people putting orders on, especially when it's a spike on a 1 minute chart here, right? That's why I took it down here. So it said that they were overextended and they were going to come up. They did come up, but it only gave us a tick. That's crazy. Okay, so the news has come and gone. Consumer sentiment 96.8 versus an estimated 95.7. 1 year inflation expectations 2.5 versus a previous 2.5. So the consumer sentiment numbers are mostly in line. Now they're still stacking at 13.5. He takes it. I could try a long here, but it looks like the big guys are still fighting it. I don't think that oh, now a down tick like that. That really doesn't make it look like a positive thing. Why are they selling it so hard? I don't think I could sell it at 13. I think we need to see it come back a bit. Oh, and it's weird. The E-mini is just a meat grinder today. ABS can work both ways, can attract big boys seeking liquidity. I just don't understand why they're selling it so hard. I really don't. Other than perhaps somebody is like really offsides, you know?
Claudio Ibarola says thank you.
No problem. No problem. At some point, I do think that we're going to make the indicators available for a cheap price. But I want to make it for multiple platforms first. So maybe in the spring. Not that they're like endlessly They're not like super special, but it's more complicated than your average person would be able to do. It did require a little bit of programming and market understanding.
Greg Orlovsky says ES, this has been the range for the last 4 hours.
Right? I have not seen ES be like this in a long time. And I remember last time that ES was like this, it was very difficult for us. But it's just so interesting to me. ES goes sideways and the treasuries just get creamed. I mean, they got really clobbered there, and I really don't think the PMI news was all that bad. So why are they selling it so hard? Maybe there was another piece of news that we missed. Source close to Charles Schwab TD Ameritrade says a technical hiccup at board level has delayed announcement of it being final, but expects issue to be overcome imminently. Likely announcement today or over weekend. Again, no deal is done until it is done. Whoa. U.S. PMIs surge in November, but business conditions remain subdued. I don't understand. Central bank easing leads PMI rebound by 8 months. I guess they could be selling just because Donald Trump said deal with China is close. So we're selling it in the treasuries, maybe? Maybe somebody just really believes him. I think he's full of shit. I need to stop swearing, guys. I don't think YouTube likes it when we swear. I think he's full of crap. I don't think they're anywhere close to finishing a deal with China.
Greg Orlovsky says ES, soon expecting it to become tired of staying here. Michael XC says, can you explain volume stops again? I didn't quite catch it the first time. I'm curious how to use them.
So do you think we could get a volatility breakout in the E-mini? Okay, so Michael, the way that a volume stop works is this. Switch it over to my experimentation. Hold on. My experimentation account. Okay. So I have here on, there's these buttons. Auto, stop limit, stop limit. So if I wanted to, if it's fast action, I recommend you switch that over to limit, because you don't want to buy into 13 and then it's a market order and it converts and it actually ends up hitting 13.5. That really sucks. So if you make it a limit order, then worst case, you're going to get 13, right? Okay. Stop and stop limit. So stop limit, and then this number right here, should probably set that to something like 58. Okay, cool. So now it's a stop, but it only triggers if the amount placed on that level is less than 58. Okay. So it already ticked up. Okay. So see, I have a stop limit buy placed at 13.5. If it was a normal stop, any orders executing there at 13.5 would cause it to buy. But because it's a stop limit, the offer here, right now the offer is 2,241. The offer would have to drop below 58 to trigger that synthetic stop and for it to buy. And what will happen is the platform will see it, and then the platform will issue a market order at that point. And you can do it two ways. So you can do it as a stop or a stop limit. So if I do it as a stop limit, then what will happen is when there's less than 58, then it will enter in a limit order at 13.5 versus a market order at 13.5. So if you just do it as a regular stop, then you could still get 14, or who knows what you get with slippage. But if you don't, you use the stop limit, then it should only buy at 13.5. But the issue with that one is then if it goes through, and who knows what you get. So like you could you'll end up with a limit order to buy at 13.5, and it'll just leave you in the dust. And you'll be sitting there waiting for a fill. Okay. So here it might trigger here. I actually could take this one live, but I'm still hesitant to because this is a buy and the trend has been so much down. Okay, so see some orders have hit there at 13.5. It hasn't bought yet because it's basically going to need to clear it for my thing to buy it. Oh. I am getting still a lot of reversals. Okay, so there, that time it went below, and so I market bought, and now it's in a position. And because I have my 4 strategy on, so it gave me a 4-tick stop and an 8-tick target.
Greg Orlovsky says, so even with the 50 volts, it will eventually fill you at the next best price if it runs through.
Yeah. I mean, so in that instance, it was a market, got converted to a market order, and it hit into 13.5. But sometimes they'll buy everything there and stack, and then I'll end up with a limit order at 800 in the queue or something like that.
Greg Orlovsky says.
That makes sense. I mean, it'll eventually fill me at. Well, no. So if
Greg
it's a
Orlovsky
stop limit,
says, thank you. I wasn't sure.
If it was a stop limit, then it's just going to put. I could just put a regular stop, right? Just remember that a stop is like a condition. There's a condition, and then a regular stop is if that condition is met, market order. And a stop limit is if that condition is met, put in a limit order at that price. And now an exchange stop, the condition is if anything trades at that price. With a synthetic volume stop, I call it a synthetic volume stop because it's not done on the exchange. It's done here on the computer, which means that, there's still the latency for it to go in. So you could, you got to be careful with that, because if you're using that as your only protection and there's some sort of crazy move, then you could end up losing a lot. Okay. So it's important to note that it's synthetic. But with the synthetic volume stop, the condition is that the amount bid or offered goes below my.
Greg Orlovsky says, nice
limit.
Explanation, thanks. Also, you may want to explain server side.
Yeah, so when I say server side, I mean if I put a stop order in, it goes through the broker and they put it on the exchange, and the CME says, okay, there is a stop here. So if anything trades at, if I said I had a stop at 13.5, anything trades at 13.5, the first thing that happens on the computer system is it says all of these market orders hit. That's the first thing that happens. And then they process all of the orders that are coming in that are market orders as well. Okay. So if you give it a server side stop, then you have priority, essentially.
Greg Orlovsky says server side is the best, safest.
Yes, it's the safest. But I do believe that that can be seen and it can make you a target. So that's this kind of wishy-washy. That's why I think that, I've never really had to deal with it. Excuse me, my stomach is kind of feeling weird here. I've never really had to deal with it, but if you're really concerned, what you can do is you can say, I'll have my synthetic stop here at, -3 or whatever. And then if something really
Swissio
crazy
says
happens,
spreaders always have priority.
Yeah, if something crazy happens, then I can have a real server side stop below that. And the idea is that server side stop should never ever get triggered unless there was a volatility spike. but that you should always have manually gotten out before it gets down to that manual stop. Finally, I was bid at 13.5. Too many turnarounds in this story has killed this market.
Harlequin says, well, if you are afraid people can see your stop, just don't use one. What could ever go wrong with that?
Right. Right. I do think it's going to reverse a little bit. I don't know if well, that was just an experiment for demonstration purposes. So there I just put a stop limit for 58. See, it's not going to trigger until they do 58. So this would be an interesting way to take a profit, right? Because it's only going to take a profit if somebody tries to clear 14 again. So I might not trigger if they decide to clear 14.5, and then I'd still be in, right? Okay, so now do you see it converted to a limit, and I'm basically at the back of the queue.
Lucas says if it's the emergency stop, never use limit or volume. I don't know who asked about it.
Yep. If it's the emergency stop, never use limit or volume. Yes, because if you did a limit one and you don't get filled on it, then you're down, and the piece of news was that the United States has dropped an atomic bomb on Beijing, then you're out, $2,000 essentially. Or who knows how far something would move in that kind of situation.
Harlequin says just put more buy orders where your stop would be and you can get filled at even better prices. Lucas says LMAO.
So it's totally true. In fact, I don't know if I've had it like this. I mean, I've probably been doing some things that let's make a new one. We'll just call it. I think that I do have one that is like this, but it should be like, okay, we'll add another one. So this one is everything, and this one is let's say 3 ticks, okay? And this will be a stop limit. Stop volume will be like, I think that right now something like 200 is good, okay? And then we'll have this one that will be like 6 ticks. That is just a pure stop, okay? That one at 14 never got filled.
Swissio says no one stop order guarantees you that it will be executed.
Well, so if you do a real stop, it will get executed. It's just who knows what price it's going to be executed at. Unless the exchange closes it.
Lucas says it will eventually. It might not get filled at your price, but it will eventually get filled.
Okay, so let's just exit out of this. Oops. Auto. Okay. So if I do auto and I have this set to safe. Okay, and I'm going to go short. Okay. So it got filled. Oh, I didn't do them.
Harlequin says yeah, I remember getting 15 ticks slippage in the bund because I forgot easy B that day. It eventually got filled lol. Lucas says if it doesn't get filled at all then it's on your broker thinking face.
What happened? Why did it not work? Isn't that weird? So that strategy just straight up doesn't work. Well, I could do it like this.
Greg Orlovsky says lol Lucas all that fine print when opening an account smiley face. Lucas says haha.
I was just a little bit, I looked at it and I was like, oh, well, I'll be able to buy back into it. And then I was a little bit too late. Are they going to reverse higher here? Yeah, okay. I just want to test. Okay, so now if we do it. Didn't all work. Does not let you do that. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I thought for sure that you would be able to do that. But it says no. It'll only do that. It only does the first one because you don't have. It will only do it when I have 2 contracts. If I did 2 contracts, then it would put the other one down.
Harlequin says took a piss. What are you testing?
I'm trying to test it if it would let me put in a safe stop somewhere. But it doesn't. So this safe strategy can just be deleted. See, so here's like 4. Stop. Here's one that's just like a straight up stop. Right? So this is what I've been trading with. Right? Straight stop, and then I can come in here and I can say stop limit if, I'm concerned about that price going. I can just add one in there. Hope that, I think we more than adequately covered it.
Harlequin says will the Amini finally break this 5 points initial balance?
Who
Michael
knows?
XC says so Friday afternoons don't move much for treasuries, right?
It depends. I would say in a situation like this, generally no. So here I think we should look at something here. Let's go to the CME website. Because I think that there's a strike. They're pinned at 3110. I think that there's some equity index. Okay, it's the quick strike, right? Oh, there we go. I'm like, it should just let me in.
Greg Orlovsky says ES being played from the outside in, but I'm not letting it lull me to sleep just yet smiley face. Harlequin says well if you have big news on Friday, then yes. Like non-farm payrolls or US GDP. But today there are no big news.
Yeah. Oh, now you know my phone number. You didn't see that? Oh, self-employed. Mm. Okay. Oh, it is not quick strike. It's not what I want. Where is it? Maybe if I come over and I look at the...
Greg Orlovsky says haven't taken a trade either yet today. Ace did catch a short, I believe.
Oh, here we go. Open interest heat map. Here it is. Okay. So. Okay.
Lucas says Ace trades Ethereum now? OMG.
Isn't there like a total somewhere? Oh, this one is the highest, isn't it? Yes, that's right. So can you see there for the puts and calls that expire today? Somebody has a bunch of puts at 31.10.
Swissio says now we know your full name, and make terror calls face with tears of joy.
Terror calls. Well, maybe one of you will be crazy enough to call me. But you probably should already have. There are plenty of ways to find my real name. The thing that I would be the address. Let's not get out my address. That would be bad. I should be more careful.
Lucas says we are crazy and bought to bet our savings in the market.
Yeah. Don't do anything crazy. So it's like you can see there's these strikes between 3100 and 3110. And it kind of looks like that somebody is trying to hold it to 3110 because they got puts. There's some calls and puts there. And somebody makes money.
Michael XC says just hang a left at the canyon. Harlequin says better hide your address from the Clinton assassins, or you will get Epsteined.
Get Epsteined? Man, I don't know what the deal is with my stomach, but I feel like pressure down here. So a lot of volume going through here. It's still kind of suggesting to me that it could go well. So that one is unusual. Could maybe buy this. Oh yeah, the another thing that I wanted to look at was we're saying, all green or whatever. Okay, ignore that number down there because those were all those sim orders. The only one that I took live, I took one tick on, right? Okay. Date range, 18th.
Lucas says I think it could easily go towards 165.
So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades this week, and they were all green, and I made $234. Minus commissions. I think if we go back further than that, it's not quite as amazing. Yeah, there's a couple of bad ones here. Why is the last price so freaking huge? What the heck are my kids going on about?
Lucas says you are sharp, Seth.
Thank you. I've done pretty good the past 2 weeks.
IQ says buy the ZB for 2T at Greg.
This one was great. When was this one? The 15th? Last Friday? Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. So I lost some on the 15th, and then I made it back. Ugh. That was kind of the turnaround where I kind of
Greg
picked up
Orlovsky
confidence
says
again.
hi IQ.
I feel at the moment that my strategy is pretty awesome. There are some periods where it stops working, but the strategy seems to be working really well, and it's all mental, you know. That sometimes I would just go into like a series of bad decisions.
Greg Orlovsky says Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2019 Full Act 2019-2020.
Well, the E-mini is starting to sell now. So now below
IQ says ZB within last 3 days range.
Below 3105, now these guys with the calls are screwed. Makes me want to buy it. Where was the big old order before? Oh, it was at 16. Well, it's not there anymore.
Swissio says Seth, have you already tried? Next year they expand charting software. Then they will be unbeatable.
Have I already tried what? I think that one of your messages probably included a URL and you didn't stick, and so it didn't show it to me.
Swissio says TT.
Oh, right. I downloaded it. And I started it and I logged into it, but then it was like, well, we need to pay attention, so I closed it down. So I wasn't tempted. But I think that what we're going to do, because next week is going to be a holiday and I'm going to be hesitant to take trades next week, that we can mess around with it a little bit more next week. There was some things about it that look really nice. But the amount that you're paying for the data is ridiculous. It's like $50 for the platform. Okay, sure. Because Jigsaw, you pay $50 to place live.
Lucas
trades,
says
right?
at Swissio, do you think it's easy to switch from Jigsaw to TT? It looks fairly different, Dom.
But you're paying like $100 for the data. Like, what? How is that?
IQ says 915 am time for period of change ZB.
They're skimming a little bit too much off the top from data. What? The thousands of dollars a year that I can generate for you in commissions is not enough? Whatever.
Harlequin says short in gold, let's see if Amini rebounds. Lucas says yay, I am not switching at all lol. I like Jigsaw, had some problems before but now it runs good enough for me.
Cool. I'm glad you fixed your issues.
Lucas says they fixed most of the problems.
Yeah. And I'm sure that Jigsaw is going to expand their charting as well at some point. I think that they're doing a little bit of in-house cleaning things. Like, so if you haven't gotten the latest version, they made some changes that were worthwhile performance-wise. Then I kind of wonder.
Lucas says, and I like how Peter treats his customers.
Oh yeah, Peter is so great. You know, I was thinking about it. Well, I'll just show you. I'll just show you. So, help me out here, Swisso. Do I really have to?
Michael XC says, when did it come out?
I think it was like last week or earlier this week. They've been doing a bunch of them lately. Yeah, I'm going to put it over here in this corner so that we can still see the tenure, all right? So how do I change the instrument here? Edit, file. Order book, active orders, main. How do I change the instrument? Well, I could do this. Tenure note. December. Okay. Well, that's good enough, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna make it big. Oh, is it? I thought it wasn't delayed, but it maybe it is delayed. Okay, but just look at this DOM versus this DOM. You notice there are some times when it'll change and it's just like it barely. Look at how many times it's changing there at 14. Compared to what it's changing on mine. It seems to me that Rhythmic is filtering the data a lot more than TT does. So I remember Swisso saying that it looked like the updates on my DOM were slow or something, and I did all this stuff to change it. You know, like we changed the update intervals and all these sorts of things, and it was like it didn't change anything. I remember that like beginning of the year. I think that it's just Rhythmic. I think that Rhythmic just filters the data a lot. I would love to get better data, but I don't know if it really matters. Trial delayed account. So that their demo isn't even live data. That's retarded. That's retarded. Here's their chart. I mean, their platform is certainly slick. I don't know. So far, I'm not seeing anything in TT that is like so great that I would rather use it over Jigsaw.
Octavius C says, what do you have your update interval set at?
So here in the treasuries, I have it set to 10. I could actually set it a little bit lower, but I found that it's not all that useful to be below that. And honestly, if I set it to 1 for really quick, okay, how's that? Can you tell a difference? I can't. See, I think that my update interval is faster than the update interval of what Rhythmic is giving me. You know, I was thinking maybe another thing that I could put in the background there on that screen. Maybe I should do my router.
Lucas says wasn't 50 the advisable update interval by the guys at Jigsaw?
I don't remember.
Harlequin says man can the Amini rebound PLS so gold doesn't stutter like that.
I wonder if you would even be able to see it that way, though. Well, let's try it. Since I don't think, well, it's 8:39. Wow. They sure came up there, but then they just kind of died down. I don't know. I'm happy with how I traded, to be honest. It took the one and it was fine. And this rest of this stuff has been giving me reversals, but they're sketchy. You know? Cool. I think I did the right thing. Okay, well, let's try it over here. Let's see. I mean, you can kind of see that one in the background right now, putting it on that screen. I don't know if it's anything that like anybody really cares about, but I'm just thinking of it from the perspective of branding. Like a new person comes in, what do they see? And I want them to see that, this guy is doing like the most complicated high-tech thing that you can possibly be doing. That's the Brandon. Brandon.
Harlequin says out with 18T. Would hold longer if S was stronger. But finally a trade today.
Not bad, Harlequin. You caught that short. That was really great. It's a little bit of a... Now that is a very interesting... When I come over to the chart here, do you see...
Lucas says nice.
This big. Can you see here in the E-mini how there was a lot? Here's where we opened. There wasn't really a ton of activity when we opened, but this time when they came up to 31.12, then there was this spike. And before that, there was some big orders.
Greg Orlovsky says good to get money on a day like this 18T smiley face.
So there's your reversal in the E-mini. But they went to the open and maybe they turned back around and the treasuries are certainly
Harlequin says
saying
yeah,
that
but
they
I
might.
really think they are gonna break today's low and yesterday's low in gold. Could be a 40 ticks move. Just got scared by the random drop in the Amini.
What is this? There's this picture that Zero Hedge has tweeted. I have no clue what that is. That the Fed's balance sheet? That must be the Fed's balance sheet.
Lucas says how much each tick in gold per contract.
It was like 50,
Greg Orlovsky says ES drop was the release of the Hong Kong Act.
Oh, really? Well, that's interesting that they would react to that. Okay.
Harlequin says $10.
No, it's $10. Okay. I was gonna say I know that gold is enough that it's a lot of money to move on something really thin. Let's see if I can pull up my router settings over here and if that looks better.
Lucas says come to ZB or grinning face with big eyes. Greg Orlovsky says yes, reading it not good for China.
I forgot how to log in. Where is it?
Harlequin says fuck.
Says I'm still logged in, but I'm not. Log out.
Harlequin says gold just upped. Greg Orlovsky says market probably scared of China's response.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think China's going to be too happy about it. Well, let's see if who says something.
Harlequin says just had to stay in 3 more min face with tears of joy.
I feel so dumb. Well, we're just going to... oh, right there. Said, oh man, can I really not? I don't remember the password, but my browser remembers the password. That's a hilarious. Hilarious. Wait, what? That is it? Then how come it didn't work before? It's admin and that. Okay. So weird. So now, that's weird. My head like completely covers it most of the time anyways. Like if maybe I'm not centered. There you go. Now you get it in the background. Kind of. I can move the table. Probably move the table over another 6 inches. They came down and now back up. Well, I don't know. Now I want to move it. Now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm looking at everything. I'm here. Good. Good. That's good. That's fine. Like you can kind of see it move it a little bit. It's cool. It's cool, right? Well, I tell you what, guys. Here's your assignment. Let's go out there and find any kind of cool visualization that moves a lot that we can stick on that screen in the background that'll look cool. Make the stream look cool. Oh, you know what? You know what the deal is? I'm using this instead of this. Ha! That's better. Now it's like, oh, I don't need to move it over so much. Yeah, I think that looks better than what we had before, though. Let's fix the table now a little bit, though. Now that we got that. Excellent. Excellent. Anyways, any ideas for cool things that we can put on that screen behind me? And I'm thinking at some point, Everett is going to have a 6-monitor setup. No? Oh yeah, our robot is probably dead. What you guys seeing here? Risk on is generally a good term for they're buying the market, which would be selling the treasuries. Risk off is there's a little interest in getting along the indexes. Yes. Ace, you did. We were just messing with the monitor. Tell me, your opinion matters very greatly to me, Ace. Does the screen behind me look sufficiently high tech? If you had no clue what was going on, would you be like, "Wow, what is this guy doing? It looks like he's doing something like he's controlling the world from this room." That's the look we're going for. And I was just saying, maybe I should get Everett a 6-monitor setup. Just so that we can stick cool stuff on it, you know? Actually, I think if we had a 6 monitor, I'm just looking at it. I think if we had a 6 monitor setup, I don't think you'd be able to see it all. But I do think we could put like a... How can I post screenshots? Harlequin, what's your username? Oh, there you are. Hold on a second. Okay. Now you have permissions to post pictures. So you just push the little plus button next to the text area and you should be able to post a picture now. What am I trying to do right here? They're just moving around a lot here. And I don't know why. I'm probably going to regret. I'm probably going to get to work and I'm going to be like, I should have worked from home. I should have tried to trade all day because it's the risk and they moved up. But I don't know if that's what's going to happen. And I suspect that if I tried to take a ton of trades here, that I would lose money. And man, they are still thick too. Still thick. Oh man. I'm waiting here for Harlequin to post a picture now. Oh, and of course I don't have the... Man, it's ticking. Every time I hear a click and I'm not paying attention, I go like, oh, I should be paying attention because something happened.
Harlequin says, Seth, can you give me rights to post on Discord?
Yeah, I did. I did. You should be able to post now. Oh, it posted it in metals. I exceeded the quota and it pulled in a bunch of new pictures. Oh, okay. Ace says, I thought I was on the USS Enterprise. Okay, let's look here in metals. What you got? Ooh. Oh, it's going. That ugly. My, oh my. That's cool. I like it. You got the numbers on it. They're going higher again. I don't know, guys. They're building higher points of controls over the past hour, and it's going up. But they might just be retracing this move down that made no sense to me. And the E-mini's going down. Saying maybe they're going to push the overnight low. There's still a lot of lows from yesterday to fight through too, though. So that might not necessarily be like a big deal. Where is my Bitcoin chart? There it is. They did move higher. 847. They did all that in the last 10 minutes. They're really actually quite moving. Okay. Let me, now that I got that posted, let me just pull you guys back up here. Oh, okay. We're all good. Did I miss anything else? No, just Ace saying that he thinks he's on the Enterprise. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some LED lights and like I'll put an LED light like put it over like here. So I think I can put an LED light above that monitor that can say stuff, and I think that we could hook it into the chat. So when you guys say something, like if you guys did a donation, then it would show up there in addition to the bottom of the screen. I might have to zoom the camera out a little bit to do that, but that's okay. And then I think you get some little LED fill lights to make the wall, to put a little bit of color on the wall so that it's not so drab. Try and match the colors on the DOM here, you know? Have like red around the monitors and then that kind of that, what do we say? Dark turquoise kind of color around on the corners or something. I think that could be fun. Maybe I can go and find one of those at Walmart. Are you going to turn around again? That's a strong bid at 15.5. I want to watch this next little set of ticks. Oh, he pulled some at 15. Maybe you sell that. I don't know, folks. Well, it looks like there's still a trading opportunity out there, but I'm not necessarily getting signals. So this is probably action that is liable to make me do foolish things. So I think that we should just let it go, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes tonight. Well, anyways, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, wow, we have 12. You know what? Oh my gosh, guys. You guys are so amazing. I said, please hit that like button once at the beginning, I think, and we already have more likes than we've had all week. There you go, 13. That's a new record for this week. So thank you guys very, very much. Well, next week we will, it's the holiday. We'll be here every day except for Thanksgiving, I think. Well, not Black Friday. Probably not Black Friday. And there's no good Black Friday deals anyways. Maybe we could look at the deals, but I don't expect to see anything good. And then we can dive into TT a little bit more. So we already dived a little bit into Sierra charts. We can dive into TT a little bit more. Although I'm really disappointed in their pricing. I thought that their pricing had gotten better, but you're still paying a ton for the data, which is so dumb. Anyways, we'll look at it. Maybe we can do some Sierra charts programming too. We could get into that. So I think that we should have some fun next week. So I will see you guys then. And in the meantime, stay profitable.